Hi, and welcome to EDUC 685, Principles of Distance Education Delivery. I'm John Curry, and I'm going to be the instructor for this course, and I thought that I would take a couple of minutes here really quickly and shoot a video and let you know a little bit about me, about my background in distance education, and about the course in general. First of all, a little bit about me and distance education. You know, I really happened on distance education in my academic career on accident, to be honest with you. I started off, I was an English major in my undergrad and got my bachelor's degree in English. And then from there I got a master's degree at that was at BYU, my bachelor's. I got a master's degree at Utah State in the theory and practice of writing, which was, you know, I thought I wanted to be a writer and a writing teacher, and I did. I was a writer and teacher and somewhat of a writer for a little while. But while I was working on my master's degree, this whole online education thing came about. I was in my last year of my master's degree looking for a thesis topic, and it just so happens that I was fortunate enough to be tapped to teach and design and teach the first online course in the state of Utah. This would have been the spring or winter semester of 1996, I guess it would have been. We started in January of '96. It was really quite a challenge back then. What happened was the governor of Utah, at the time, a guy by the name of Mike Levitt, had the Higher Education Technology Initiative grants, the HETI grants, and 3 schools were tapped to develop these online writing courses, Utah State being one of them. And I, under the tutelage of a full-time faculty member who had never taught the course, they asked me to be his teaching assistant, but I really designed and taught the whole course. They had to have a full-time faculty member on the grant. And that was crazy times. I mean, that was crazy town stuff. This is right as, I should say, web browsers were just getting to where they could support inline graphics. I remember the first day that my friends Chris Huckleberry and Adam Zamora, we had downloaded the new Netscape browser, and we got a graphic to show up at a web page, and I mean, it was like magic. You know, it was crazy. We experimented with different types of threaded discussions. You know, we used one called Kaylee, but ultimately in that first class we did all of our communication via email. I mean, just insane stuff. Thousands of messages, hundreds a day, to try to manage all the communication in the course. It was crazy. From there, Chris, Adam, and I kept working on this online thing because Utah State's English department became very invested in it, and we ended up building more classes together. I was the teacher of the group. Chris and Adam were the technicians, the brains behind it. I was the teaching experience, and we would sit and I would say, okay, here's what I need it to be able to do, and they would somehow make it work. And then we needed things to be scalable. You know, as the English department wanted more and more teachers, we had to figure out how to make it so we could make classes quicker. You know, I was technologically savvy enough that it was okay for me to do a little bit of HTML coding. That didn't bother me. But there were plenty of instructors that did bother, that couldn't do it or didn't want to have to take their time to do it. So we had to figure out how to make it scalable. And what we actually ended up doing is creating our own LMS. Today, we use Blackboard here at Morehead State. But, you know, we built an LMS called Syllabase. Great name, by the way, from another colleague of ours, Brian McCuskey. We built Syllabase, and actually a lot of schools used it in the West. Colorado State used it, mainly in the English departments, because that was kind of the people that we knew. So I've always been interested in online learning and distance education, but it just kind of fell in my lap. I've worked as an instructional designer for online learning companies, director of distance education. I've designed and taught more distance education courses than I know how to count, both as faculty development, helping others develop their courses, and of course doing my own courses. the fact of the matter is that distance education today is much different than distance education back when I was going to college. When I was going to college, especially for my undergrad, you know, distance education was you would sign up and they would send you like a manila packet, you know, and you'd open it up and all of the materials were there. You kind of worked at your own pace and sent it in, and some guy graded it, and there you went. It was a very much standalone stuff. But, you know, we have fully interactive things now. You'll see videos from me occasionally throughout the course of the semester as I respond to questions that you pose or main concepts that need to be clarified from the reading. We'll do some chats online, some video chats online. Really, we can create quite the sense of community in online courses today, or distance courses today, I should say, that we didn't have the capability to before, and I think it's a pretty cool idea. I think we're very blessed to live in this generation to be able to do these things, you know. We don't have to be here anymore. We don't. I can teach from somewhere else, you can take classes from somewhere else. As a matter of fact, just a year ago, I started teaching here for Morehead State, but I wasn't here on campus yet. I had to finish up my contract, or the semester I was contracted out at Oklahoma State, which is where I came here from. And so I taught my on-campus classes at Oklahoma State fall semester last year, but at the same time I was teaching 2 classes for Morehead State from Oklahoma. So, you know, distance education is here to stay, and we get it in everything. We have distance education courses in the medical field. We have them in law enforcement. We have them in pest control. Not just academic subjects, but certification type subjects, we have them as well. And so what this course really focuses on are what are the principles behind delivering distance education? What are the considerations? Now, let's be very clear. This is not a course on how to design distance education. That's the course that generally comes after this, which is 686A. That's a summer course. Some of you have already taken it, some of you haven't. But this is the course that talks more about the theory of distance education. We've got 2 books in here. New books that I've never used before, but I wanted to try to change it up because the book that they had last year was a good book, don't get me wrong, but it's not what I wanted to use, but they'd already had it. So we're going to use 2. We're going to use An Introduction to Distance Education, Understanding Teaching and Learning in a New Era. This is a compilation of books, or excuse me, of chapters edited by M.F. Cleveland Ennis and D.R. Garrison. Required book 1. Both of them are published by Routledge. The other one is Interactions in Online Education, Implications for Theory and Practice, edited by Charles Jua. So, 2 required books. Get them both. If you haven't had a class from me before, you're going to want to pay really close attention to how we manage our discussions online. I have my own methodology that I use, but that's outlined in another video for you. But all in all, the biggest things to realize about this course as we go into it is this is not a how do we design it, this is the theory behind it. You know, we'll talk best practices, things of that nature. My contact info is all in here in Blackboard. I just want to reiterate some of the stuff. Feel free to go ahead and contact me anytime you need me. You've got my office number, you've got my cell phone number. Feel free to call or text whenever you want to. Email me whenever you want to. You can Facebook me if you want to. But let me be very clear, my own personal thing is I don't do Sundays. You can try to get a hold of me on Sunday. I'm not going to answer it, no matter what. I will not answer it. That's my day off. That's my day for family and church, and so just be aware of that. I make myself more available, I think, than most of your instructors will. But Sunday's my day and day for my family and my church, and so don't get upset when I don't answer you on those days. But I think everything's pretty well spelled out in the syllabus. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. This course should be a lot of fun. We get into some pretty interesting discussions in this course. People are very opinionated about things, and have a little bit of thick skin because I will question everything that you say. But all in all, have some good fun. We'll be talking later, and I'll see you guys online. Bye.